Good evening. Welcome to the May 26th meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Nguyen, was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Number one, please.
Our minutes for the meeting of May 12, 2016.
Commissioner Krieger.
Yes, I move approval, but with an addition where we say we did not vote on the Holy Ghost Society due to the absence of Mr. Santos.
Motion by Commissioner Krieger as amended, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number two, please.
Commissioner will now proceed with number 2 on the meeting agenda, the applications for special one-day licenses to dispense wines only. Jim Diamond, the Executive Director of the Brush Art Gallery and Studios at 256 Market Street, has filed 4 applications, starting with the studio artist Elemental, an exhibit at public reception on Thursday, June 23rd, 2016, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The second application is Elemental exhibit, the studio artist talk, for Saturday, July 16th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The third is the History of the Brush retrospective, the exhibit reception, Saturday, October 1st, 2016, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the fourth application is for the closing jazz reception, a History of the Brush retrospective exhibit on Friday, November 4th, 2016, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., excuse me.
State your name for the record, sir. Ms. Diamond, can you tell us a little bit about your events?
Sure. This is going to be the first time that the Brush has served wine in quite a while because we're on the park property, but we've recently got a new agreement and new insurance, and we want to be competitive with the other galleries.
Fantastic. Commissioner Krieger? Nothing. Wish of the body?
Move approval?
Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Diamond, good luck with the events.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Commissioner will now proceed with number 3, the applications for special one-day licenses to sell, dispense malt beverages and wines only, or either one, starting with George S. Zaharoulis, the president of the Holy Trinity Hellenic Orthodox Church, for an enclosed outdoor area on Worthing Street, adjacent to the Hellenic American Academy at 41 Broadway, this being the Greek Festival for Friday, June 24th, 2016, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, June 25th, 2016, 12 noon to 11 p.m., and Sunday, June 26th, 2016, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Also, there are applications by Kevin Camvan for the Wat Lao Temple on the temple grounds at 45 Bernier Street. It's a fundraiser, starting with Saturday, July 2nd, 2016, from 12 noon to 8 p.m., and the fundraiser will continue on Sunday, July 3rd, 2016, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. Kevin, would you stand up, please? Also proceeding with Kelly Fox of the Greater Lowell Roadrunners for the Shed Park Pavilion, the Greater Lowell Roadrunners Summer Family Outing on Sunday, July 31st, 2016, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tabitha Garnett, catering manager of the Aramark, for an event at Bellegarde Boathouse at 500 Pawtucket Boulevard, the Division of Student Affairs reception for Wednesday, July 1st, 2016, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And also, if I may just add to Tabitha's application, was that she had filed earlier in the week for an event on May 24th, 2016, in which I issued a special one-day license to dispense malt beverages and wine only. And this was for an event at the Allen House Gallery at 2 Solomon Way, a retirement party for the Jacqueline Darling, which was Tuesday, May 24th, 2016, from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
If you all state your name for the record, please.
George Zaharoulis, 15 Dabby Way, Lowell, Mass.
Kevin Cameron, 45 Bernier Street, South Lowell.
Thank you. Ladies,
Kelly Fox,
Hi,
99 Eklund Drive.
how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Come on up, Tabitha.
Tabitha Garnett.
All right. Mr. Camvan, have you had a one-day license before? Have you been the manager of record on a one-day license before? You can step right up to the lectern, sir.
This will be a 19th annual fundraising for the temple. We have only once a year.
Have you had one of these licenses yourself?
Back off and on, like since 2006,
2006?
and I don't remember last
Okay.
time.
Do you understand your responsibilities?
And yes,
Okay, all right, Kelly, it's the first time for you?
For me personally, but not for the Greater Lowell Roadrunners.
Understandable. And you understand your responsibilities with this license?
I sure do.
Okay. Tabitha, you've been here many times.
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy, Commissioner McCarthy, we have any worries about Mr. Zararulis?
No, not at all.
Not at all? Okay. Wish of the body. Comments, Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah, Shed Park, it's okay to serve alcohol at Shed Park?
It is, and I've received the Shed Park license, and we've done this many years past.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
move approval.
Seconded.
Move approval by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ladies, gentlemen, good luck with your events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for those of you who have amplification permits, please stay. Proceeding with number 5 on the meeting agenda for License Commission ratification, the issuance on May 13, 2016 of 2 special event permits for amplification of sound for outdoor public entertainment. Jose Santos of the Holy Ghost Society, the outdoor grounds at Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street, for sound system for band at the Holy Trinity Feast, which was Saturday, May 21st, 2016, from 12 noon to 12 a.m., and also Sunday, May 22nd, 2016, from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Motion by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner McGovern for ratification for these 2 permits. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Commission will now proceed with applications for the special event permits for amplification of sound for outdoor public entertainment, starting with George S. Zaharoulis of the Holy Trinity Hellenic Orthodox Church for sound system for live music, DJ, and for the Greek Festival, in an enclosed outdoor area on Worthing Street, adjacent to the Hellenic American Academy at 41 Broadway. Friday, June 24th, 2016, from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, June 25th, 2016, from 12 noon to 11 p.m. And also Sunday, June 26th, 2016, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Kevin Camvan of the Wat Lao Temple, sound system for band for the temple fundraiser, which is in the fence-enclosed grounds of the temple at 45 Bernier Street, for Saturday, July 2nd, 2016, from 12 noon to 8 p.m., and Sunday, July 3rd, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. Jose Santos of the Holy Ghost Society for a sound system for band and/or disc jockey for outdoor amplification in the months of May, June, July, August, September 2016, Sunday to Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., Thursday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., the outdoor grounds at Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. John Marciano of the National Park Service for live music and a sound system for the Lowell Summer Music Series and free fun for kids in the months of June, July, August, September 2016, Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. at the Boarding House Park at French and John Streets. Also, John Marciano, on behalf of the Lowell Festival Foundation, has filed for the live music and a sound system for the Lowell Folk Festival, starting Friday, July 29th, Saturday, July 30th, and Sunday, July 31st, 2016, at 4 venues, the Boarding House Park, French and John Streets, the JFK Plaza at City Hall, Arcand Drive, St. Anne's Churchyard at 8 Kirk Street, the Dutton Street Dance Pavilion at the National Park Service parking lot, the Market Street Stage at 246 Market Street, the Lee Street Stage at Lee and John Streets, the Street Performance Area at John and Merrimack Streets, and the Family Area at the Mark Plaza. I believe that's about 8 venues. Then we have Robin E. Dupel of the ATP Restaurant, which is Cobblestones, for sound system for band and disc jockey for the Lowell Folk Festival for Friday, July 29th, Saturday, July 30th, and Sunday, July 31st, in an enclosed outdoor area in front of 91 Dutton Street. And last, we have Kerry Detremont for the Executive Director of the Greater Lowell Health Alliance, DJ and individual performers for the Greater Lowell Pride Family Picnic on Sunday, July 26th, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. at Boarding House Park, French and John Streets.
I know it's crowded up there, but if you could all state your name for the record, appreciate it.
George Zaharoulis, 15 Dabby Way, Lowell, Mass.
Thank you.
Joe Santos, Holy Ghost Society.
Mr. Santos, how are you tonight?
Good.
Good.
John Marciano, National Park Service.
Hi, John.
Robin Dupel, Cobblestones Restaurant.
Hi, Robin, how are you?
And Carrie Dentremont, Executive Director of the Greater Lowell Health Alliance.
Hi, Kerry, how are you?
Kevin?
Same person, Kevin Cameron,
All right, Kevin, thank you.
treasurer for the temple.
Thank you very much. Deputy Superintendent Webb, concerns on any of these applications?
Mr. Chairman, the only information we have on any of them is Holy Ghost Park. Approximately a year ago, we had 2 complaints for loud music, one the last weekend in May and another one during a weekend in June.
We're going to make sure we keep it down, Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Both officers were there, and they felt they had it under control.
All right, I appreciate that.
We use this meter, but I'm not really sure if I'm doing the right thing. I'm using the meter between the building and the stage, and I keep it under 100.
You're going
They
to give,
seem- they
you're going to
seem
give the
satis-
Lowell Police Department a call, and they'll help you out with that.
They seemed satisfied with it when they were there this weekend.
Something we can help them out, Deputy Superintendent?
Yes, I'll see what we can do about sending someone out there with a meter.
So all set, Mr. Santos?
Thank you.
You bet.
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes.
for the record, each license for the sound amplification does have it noted that the Lowell Police can, in their discretion, order the sound to be reduced.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have questions for Mr. Santos?
No, I was going to say, if you have an iPhone, you can get an app that'll record the sound and measure it. As I recall, it wasn't very expensive.
Mr. Marciano, I'm a little upset that I have to pay $59 to go see Peter Frampton. I'm
You
gonna
know,
tell you
if
that
you
right now.
went to the competition to see Peter Frampton, you'd be
All
paying
right.
$110.
If it wasn't for my wife, I would not pay that money, all right? You got some great acts there, by the way. this
Thank
summer.
you.
Fantastic. Robin, always a good time over there. Any questions for us?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Kerry, you've held a license before? Or was this your first one?
I believe this is the first one.
All right, you understand your responsibilities as the manager of record for this license? You do.
I do. Thank you.
Questions, comments from the board?
Is Mr. Zaharoulis going to sing at the Greek festival?
I think that's mandated, actually. Mr. Zaroulis, you have any comments?
I didn't quite hear the question.
Are you going to be singing at the Greek festival?
Most of the time.
I'll be there then.
I'll probably be inside, sitting down, watching all the action.
I move
approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, have great success at your events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a moment, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Commissioner will just skip over one of our agenda items, and we'll go back to it in a few minutes. We're going to start up with the matter of number 8 on the meeting agenda, this being the hearing for the licensee DCGR, Inc., doing business as D&G All-Star Lounge, David Cruz, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 177 Merrimack Street, on the allegation of misconduct on April the 17th, 2016, as charged by William M. Taylor, the Superintendent of Police, for violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 63A, which is hindering an agent of the licensing authority, and Lowell License Commission Regulation 1.14, access to premises by police and agents.
Good evening, gentlemen. State your name for the record.
Good evening, Attorney Michael Zane for DCGR, Inc. I'm here with the manager of record, Mr. David Cruz, and also the gentleman who was working the door that evening, Mr. Byers.
Good evening. All the floor is yours, Counselor.
Actually, I know that the report that has been submitted by the police officer, Sergeant Morrill, and...
Are you also, you want to waive the reading?
No, we'll waive the reading. We have no issue with that whatsoever. The situation that presented itself was there was an altercation inside, as the reports say. This was a little bit after 1 o'clock in the morning. They had gotten the combatants out of the establishment. Mr. Baez was keeping people from coming into the establishment. Had held his arm up to block people from that wanted to come in. One of the people who was attempting to come in was Sergeant Morrill. Mr. Baez mistakenly threw his arm out, thinking it might have been somebody else trying to come in. Realized it was a police officer. Made a mistake. The sergeant rather had indicated, we want to come in. Mr. Baez's position was that the person who had perpetrated the assault on the person that they were dealing with outside had already left. There was some confusion. Again, like I said, he didn't. He did stop him from trying to come in. There's no question that Sergeant Morrill's report is as accurate. The issue that immediately was addressed by Sergeant Morrill spoke with the manager of record. The manager of record apologized profusely for the incident. There's been some education on the fact is that the police department, as agents of the License Commission, have the right to enter to do whatever they need to do at any given point in time, and that they again, Mr. Cruz then followed up with the written report that's required to be filed, and again, if you have it there, he again apologized. The education's been there, and again, they apologize for the incident.
Mr. Zane, would you mind if I ask Mr. Baez a question?
Not at all.
Right. Good evening. My question to you is, did Mr. Cruz train you in any of the rules and responsibilities that you had as being at the door?
Yes.
You did? Okay. Was one of them making sure that the Lowell police had access to the establishment?
Yes.
So on that night, what happened?
I mean, it just happened so fast where we took two of the guys out that were in the altercation, but at the same time, we had people hanging outside trying to come back in, and I wasn't trying to once the altercation breaks out, I normally try not to let anybody back in or out of the establishment. And,
Is it true that you stated we take care of our own stuff inside?
No, I never stated that. Never stated that.
Sergeant Morrill approached the entrance. Did he identify himself? I believe he might have been in his blues that night, right?
No, it was actually, he didn't. He just came in and told me to get out of my way. So I was trying to explain to him.
He said
that we already had taken the guys out, that there was nobody in here.
All right, I'm going to excuse you for 1 minute. Sergeant Morrill, could you mind? Thank you, sir. If you could just identify yourself at the lectern.
Sergeant Stephen Morrill, Lowell Police Department.
How are you, Sergeant?
Good, yourself?
Very well.
Thanks.
You have any rebuttal to that?
We just happened to be on the corner near the bar, and when we saw the altercation, we moved over. There were people outside, and when I tried to get in, he basically said that I couldn't get in.
No, you in your blue uniform,
Yes,
right?
I was in full uniform.
So obviously he knew who you were.
Yes.
Okay.
I would assume I was in full uniform, badge, hat.
You asked him if to gain entrance?
Yes.
And at that point, Mr. Baez said?
He said that we take care of our own problems inside, and it was a private bar.
Private bar, okay. You have anything else to add to that, Sergeant?
I did talk to the owner,
Yep.
and he was apologetic.
Okay, very good.
So,
All right, thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
I'll yield the floor to my fellow commissioners.
What are the hours of this establishment?
We have permit to 2 a.m., but normally, the rules are, we normally have everybody out, by 1:45.
But how many days are you open?
Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday?
4 days. 4 days.
I'm sorry, Counsel, if I may again to Mr. Baez. As Sergeant Morrow was describing that, you were in the back, I noticed, going like this. What did he say that you're not agreeing with?
I never said that.
You never said what?
Never said we take care of our own here. I never said that.
All right. But you were under the premise that you had a Lowell Police Department official at your door, and you were not going to let them gain entrance.
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct. All right, explain to me.
When he came, it was actually another officer that came to the door
Okay.
that I was telling that he was talking to my partner, and I told him that we already took him out. That's when he came over,
Yeah.
and he was like yelling, telling me to get out of his way, don't interfere with police business. And I was just trying to explain to the officer that the gentleman was already out, and he was down actually Kirk Street, but he didn't give me a chance to tell him. He was just too busy yelling.
All right, so you explained that to the first police officer who was at the scene?
I was trying to, but I couldn't because he was yelling at me at the time when I was telling David.
All right, was the first officer trying to gain entrance, or were you just having a conversation with
No,
him?
the first officer told David Cruz that if the guy's in there, he has to come out because he hit somebody, so he's gonna get in trouble.
So
I
at that
guess.
point, Sergeant Morrow came, and he tried to gain entrance, and you refused him.
No, when Sergeant Morrow came in, he didn't say nothing. He just started yelling to get out of his way.
What was he saying? What was he yelling at you?
He just told me to get out of my way and don't interfere with police business or police matter or whatever. Don't interfere. That's what he was yelling at.
Okay, and what did you do at that point?
I just moved out of the way and told him, go ahead, go right in.
Sergeant Morrow? Can you help me with this?
That was inaccurate. When we first took care of the person that got injured, we brought him across the street
Yeah.
because there was a group in front of the business. I posted an officer there. There was 4 of us working that night. Me and the other officer went with the victim to get the story, and I kept the officer there to make sure if the person who struck him with the bottle came out, we could arrest him. I went back over to get back into the bar to see if we could find the person, and that's when he wouldn't let me in.
Did he say anything to you at that point?
Just what I had stated earlier, that, you can't come in, it's a private bar, and he did say that we take care of our own business inside. And that's when I was verbally telling him to get out of the way. I probably raised my voice
Yeah.
to emphasize that point.
Anything else further once you gained entrance?
Once we gained entrance, I had him shut the music off. We searched the bar with the witness to see if we could find the guy. He
Yeah.
was not inside the bar. We left, then I met up with the owner. We left the bar, and the gentleman was found a short time later on Kirk Street.
Okay. Mr. Baez, at any time did you say this was a private bar? You did not? Well, we have some conflicting stories here.
My feeling was that the person was still inside, and he wasn't letting us in to effect the arrest.
Okay,
That was my gut feeling.
understood. Counselor Zane?
No, like I said, I think there's a little bit of confusion as to what exactly happened and what was said. I think in the heat of the moment, Mr. Baez indicated that the first officer who he spoke to, there was a gentleman bleeding who had been taken out of the bar. The other gentleman, the other combatant that was involved in here, had left the bar. And I think that might be where a little bit of the confusion was, that it was a situation where we were saying, well, the guy you're looking for, the guy that did this, isn't in here. He's not, he's already gone. We've taken care of the business inside. So I think there's a little bit of confusion as to exactly what happened, and I don't doubt what Sergeant Morrow believes what he heard, and I don't think that Mr. Byers is here telling you anything other than what he believes happened that night. And I think it's just a matter of a difference of opinion.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah, Mr. Zane, do you have any reason to think that the police department's after your client and his business?
Not at all. Not at all. My understanding, Mr. Krieger, is that, Commissioner Krieger, that this place has been open for 6 years. They haven't had any problems, and by all accounts, and that if it occurred the way Sergeant Morrow says, and like I said, that I don't have any reason to disbelieve that. The situation, though, is that that would be certainly uncharacteristic, and I think Sergeant Morrow has discovered that after that this is not the typical behavior that is from this establishment.
Commissioner McCarthy, Commissioner McGovern?
No questions.
I noticed that there was, Mr. Chairman, I noticed that there was a finding that was held in suspension and expired on the 21st of May, which was for not reporting. Mr. Cruz reported, it seems fairly promptly this time, so I think that's been cured. But I am very concerned about this. I want to hear from the people involved, straightforward what went on, and here we have this confusion, and I don't think I have any reason to disbelieve the police officer and what he's saying. So I think we need some action here. I would recommend that we go for a 2-day suspension held in abeyance for 1 year.
I'm sorry, Commissioner McCarthy, I apologize.
I was going to second that.
Okay, that's fine. Further discussion, if I may. My concern is that we have two conflicting stories here. I mean, they're not even close. And I'm not inclined to disbelieve Sergeant Morrill either, to bring in an allegation like this in front of this board. I have a feeling that Mr. Byers was trying to handle this and put everything quiet, which is fine, but I don't think he went about this the right way. It is documented, and Councilor Zame has agreed with us that, in fact, he did put his hand up to stop Sergeant Morrill from entering the establishment, which makes me think that either he didn't want him to go in or he didn't know the rules and regulations of the Lowell License Commission. That is where I think the conflict of the stories is the problem there.
And I
Sure,
and I certainly can appreciate that. And again, like I said, this was a happening situation. And again, Mr. Byers again may have made a mistake in terms of forgetting the rules and regulations in the heat of the moment. And again, Mr. Cruz was right there. He was handling a different situation at the bar with respect to one of the cash registers. Came right over, addressed the situation again. Then had a meeting with Mr. Byers to explain to him, no, this is, you can't do that.
Right.
First of all, we're not a private club. Two, you can't do that. And then that led to another
My
meeting.
problem, Mr. Zame, is that he's said that he did not say that.
And again, what he may remember, what he doesn't remember, what he says or didn't say, again, is from my client's perspective. And again, I know you're concerned, but from my client's perspective is, as far as he's concerned, it doesn't matter what he said then. If Sergeant Morrill said he didn't let me in, Mr. Cruz took that at Sergeant Morrill's word and says, okay, this can't happen again. It won't happen again. He's been counseled for it. Everyone else that works in the establishment has been counseled on this issue to make sure that it does not happen again. And they understand fully that if it does happen again, that would be the last time it happens with that person at that establishment, because they'd be terminated.
I can appreciate that. And I know Mr. Cruz has done a pretty good job over at his establishment, and I appreciate that, and that bodes well for you. And I appreciate your comments, Counselor. I mean, but I do have reservations about an employee not letting in the Lowell Police Department to do their job. That's a severe infraction in my...
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Mr. Chairman, and again, that's why Mr. Cruz immediately addressed it, immediately apologized. His letter to you, to Mr. Nguyen, as far as submitting the report that he has to submit promptly, as Commissioner Krieger indicated.
Yep.
Again, repeats that it was a mistake, repeats that he apologized for it. And again, moving forward, educating the staff again. Sometimes the staff needs a little refresher as far as things go, and this was a situation that we feel as though has been addressed, in terms of internally with DCGR and their staff.
Sergeant Morrill, do you have anything further to add? I mean, have you been on that beat for a while, and how is your...
It was a special detail.
Oh, it was special,
It was
okay.
a downtown patrol that officers walked the downtown area for any complaints
Okay,
or stuff like that, so.
thank you. Deputy Superintendent Webb, anything further from your end, sir?
Mr. Chairman, we really haven't had very much difficulty with the All-Star Lounge. It hasn't been a source of trouble for us. I am aware of another minor incident a couple of weeks later where the music was on after 1:30, and they had to be asked to turn it off. I decided, due to the minor nature of that, not to bring that complaint forward, as it seemed to have been taken care of on the spot that night. Other than that, we haven't had any problems.
Thank you. Commissioner Krieger, you have something else to add?
Yeah, Mr. Zane, I think, hits on an important point. From my past experience, refresher training is fundamental. Yearly refresher training, evaluating a couple times a year whether or not people know what they're doing. It's easy to forget. It's easy to pick up a bad habit. Training is fundamental to avoiding making the kind of mistakes that we had in this case. So if Mr. Cruz is doing refresher training, I commend him, but everyone needs to do that kind of thing.
They've actually, Mr. Commissioner, if I may, they've actually implemented essentially a course to refresh their memory, not just a sit-down meeting, but actually a, hand out, these are the rules and regulations, employees will sign off on the rules and regulations, that they receive them, that they understand them, that they've actually read them, not just received the package and understood them, and agree to abide by them.
Mr. Cruz, you have anything you'd like to add concerning your establishment?
Well, like Attorney Zane was saying, this is my first major incident in 6 years, and I've been very cooperative, always been very cooperative with the Lowell Police. Matter of fact, there's been issues that had nothing to do with All-Star. I'm the first one to call, in police, because my main concern is people's safety first, and I run a tight, I try to do the best that I can to run a
tight ship.
Tight ship.
Okay. Well, you've done a good job, and that bodes well for you. I consider this a bump in the road. Commissioner Krieger, can you refresh my memory on the motion? I apologize.
Yes. Sorry. A 2-day suspension held in abeyance for 1 year.
That was seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Cruz, make sure your employees know what they're doing, please. All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Counsel, have a good night.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you. For 1 year. It's a bargain. Who's this guy?
Commission now take up a matter to do with number 7 on our meeting agenda. This is a public hearing on the application for the alteration of licensed premises for the all-alcoholic beverages package store licensee known as ASDK Ram Corporation, doing business as Ramos Package Store, Sanjay Patel, manager, for premises at 77 Brand Street. Legal notice was published in the Lowell Sun on Friday, the May 13, 2016. About is to be notified. ASDK Ram Corporation has filed request for pledge of license to Rockland Trust as well as the alteration of licensed premises.
Good evening. State your name for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Gregory DeMarcus. I'm an attorney from Lynn, and to my right is Sanjay Patel. He's the owner of ASDK Ram Corporation. He's also the manager of record.
Tell us what you're going to do here.
We're all familiar with what happened at this location, and we previously went in front of the board. The ABCC says that we need to get an alteration of premises because it's going to be different than it was before. And when we went in front of the board, he was going to rebuild the exact multi-story structure as that was there before with the same footprint. Because the cost of that was prohibitive, we're back with a different plan, which is just for the package store. It's going to be built within a smaller footprint. It's going to be a one-story retail space of 4,275 square feet with basement and attic for storage. The cost of constructing the building is $750,000. He has a construction loan from Rockland Trust, and therefore we need a pledge for that. There's going to be a build-out of the interior of about $150,000, and the corporate account, which we've provided the records, has the money for that.
Were there any boards that you had to go see before us, or Ryan, did they have to go to any planning board, zoning board at all?
I'm sorry?
Did they have to attend any zoning board or planning board?
No, we have not.
You have not, right? They didn't need to, right?
I don't have any recollection of the ZBA action.
Right.
We have the building permit.
So it's just a different footprint?
We have the building permit.
You do? All right, that's fine.
We have the building permit, right.
Okay.
And we were grandfathered in,
Yep.
and we're actually building within a smaller footprint than it was before. We were originally going to do the exact same footprint, so we would be grandfathered in. Now it's even a smaller footprint.
So Rockland Trust is looking for a pledge?
Rockland Trust is looking for a pledge for the construction loan.
For the construction loan, all right. All right. Questions, comments from the board?
So what are you pledging? I got the impression that it was the license, but is it the license or the stock?
The license, the license.
Have you read our rules? Which says,
You don't do a pledge of the liquor license? Well, is that in your rules? You don't do a pledge of the liquor license? Are
I
we
think
asking
that's
for a
my
pledge?
understanding of Rule 1.09. Although you get the right
What's he
to
asking for, a
appeal to
pledge of
the
license or
ABCC.
Yeah.
Regulation.
All right, well then, say no. That's all I can say. I'm curious as to why it's allowed under Chapter 138, Section 25, and for a loan, not for anything else, not for a lease or to secure anything else. I'm just curious.
Mr. Chairman, I can give some historical
Yeah, please.
background to this. It's always been the policy of the Lowell License Commission, since I've been with the board for a number of years, that it goes back to 1988, in which the License Commission at one point in time did grant a pledge of license to a particular package store licensee, and the circumstances of that pledge placed the licensing authority in a very precarious position when the party to whom the pledge was given sought to evict the licensee tenant. And the License Commission at that point vowed that they would never allow for another pledge of license. And they made it a policy at that point, after that experience, not to allow for pledge of license under no circumstances. It had now been incorporated in the License Commission regulations several years ago when they revised their regulations to make it part of a regulation. As I understand it, the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission does not in any time fault the licensing authorities for denying pledge of license. They do not, there's no, I've know of no action that the
You're
ABC has ever,
correct.
you have the right to appeal, mind you, but they've never had any reason to overturn a licensing authority's action to deny a pledge.
You're right, and the ABCC is not going to overturn this, and in this particular case, Rockland Trust is getting a first mortgage in the real estate. I think that they can live without the pledge. I just might note in your example, if there was an eviction of the pledgee in 1988, that means that the pledgor, that means that the pledgee was a landlord, and under Chapter 138, Section 25, a licensee, a pledgee must be a note holder. And that's why a note holder such as Rockland could not evict a tenant there. But in any event, I'm not going to change your minds, all your rules, all your regulations, nor do I want to, okay? I just want to know, but I am pointing out that under Section 25, only a note holder can have a pledge. And under that example, it doesn't sound like whoever held the pledge was a note holder. But we digress.
What, a no holder?
Right. In other words, you can only pledge a loan. In other words, sometimes some landlords put in their leases, I want the license to stay at the location, and to assure that, I want the tenant to pledge the license to the landlord. That's what that sounds like happened in 1988. That's not allowed under Chapter 138, Section 25. Only the holder of a note, a promissory note, such as Rockland Trust or any other lender, is allowed under the law to get a pledge. I'm imagining that's why that abuse happened in 1988 without knowing more. But again, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel.
Oh, I sort of enjoy the discussion, but I think we're pretty firm.
I would imagine if I walked out of here changing the rules and regulations of the town of Lowell that'd give me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, I would be shocked. And so I'm not trying to do that.
Elliot, feel like chiming in? Sure.
Well, I would just say that, you know, based on our understanding of administrative law, there's nothing preventing the License Commission from adding stricter regulations than what's permitted under state law. I think in this instance, from what I understand, a pledge won't necessarily be required in order for the license to be granted. So I think at this point, I don't think the issue really comes up in these circumstances. So
I would make an motion to place this on file at this point.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
But I still need the alteration of the premises approved. Not the pledge, but the alteration of the premises.
I move that we approve the alteration.
Hold on, Elliot, can you answer his question? What do you mean, the alteration?
I believe the alteration of the premises would this be the new proposal for the?
This is the plan we submitted. In other words, because it's a different design of the interior of the building. You know, if somebody remodels a bar, they have to come in front of you, alteration of premises. This is the same thing. The ABCC has told us we need to get alteration of premises.
Ryan, is that similar to what happened at the CCA club when they?
Right. The way the state law is and the regulations of the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission, it only allows for alteration of premises. So when you have a situation like the Ramos package store where the fire destroyed the property,
right.
To erect a new building, they could have, in one aspect of it, they could have changed the location from 77 Brand Street to 125 Main Street, if that was a suitable site. However, they want to construct a new building on site. The only language that's available in the statute and by regulation is alteration of premises.
Right, okay, I got it.
That's the language that's there. It also could mean that if you were a licensee and you you had one room, and you wanted to add a second room, again, it's alteration of premises.
Alteration of premises, okay. Motion by Commissioner McCarthy, second by Commissioner McGovern for the alteration of premises, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Counsel.
Thank you very much.
And moving on to number 9 on our meeting agenda, we have the application for the BS Collaborative, Inc., doing business as Delish Restaurant and Bar, Wayang Zhu, President, for an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 61 Merrimack Street. This request is for License Commission ratification for the publication of the legal notice for Lowell Sun newspaper on Friday, May 27, 2016, and to hold a public hearing on this application for June the 9th, 2016.
Motion by Commissioner McGovern, second by Commissioner McCarthy, to hold a public hearing on June 9th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And last is number 10, the License Commission vote on whether to enter into an executive session to comply with or act under the authority of Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 22, in light of the motion by Commissioner Krieger to review License Commission executive session minutes of executive sessions, May 8th, 2014, May 15th, 2014, and December 4th, 2014.
In light of the fact that we do not have all of our members present, I move that we kick this down the road.
Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McGovern, to kick this one down the road. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move we adjourn.
Move for adjournment by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.